when a man with no enemies is murdered.
Everyone loves the guy. Just a country boy at heart.
In the most brutal fashion.
Neil was lying there, his face and head, I can only describe it as a bloody mess.
Everything points to one bizarre suspect.
This isn't a homicide, but this is a homicide.
Summer 1993. In Lanesboro, Massachusetts, an idyllic farm is home to Neil Olson. A bachelor, he has no one to share the country life with until he meets Patricia Robinson.
This is Hannah.
Patricia was a divorced woman with 2 young children, and she met Neil Olson, and, well, he instantly fell in love with her.
36-year-old Neil doesn't waste time on a long courtship.
Will you marry me?
Yes, I will.
In the early days of the marriage, people said that Neil and Patricia seemed like 2 young kids in love, just 2 soulmates who had found each other.
Neil is soon not only a husband, but a full-time stepfather to Patricia's children.
Welcome. Good to see you. Come in. Hello. How are you, son?
She had been previously married and had 2 children, Amanda and Christopher. And the 2 of them raised them in Lanesboro.
So now that you're home, let's just say welcome to your new home.
I think for Neil, the relationship meant love and romance, and for Patricia, it meant financial security.
Oh, thanks, Mom. That's so cool.
Thanks, Mom.
Well, it's from the both of us.
Now we can keep track of you both.
She had a nice place to live. Her kids had a roof over their head.
Thank you. It's okay. You gotta turn it on.
Like many children, Christopher goes off the rails in his late teens.
I'm not doing this anymore.
Christopher goes out, he gets a girl pregnant, has a child, and he doesn't take care of the kid. He's a bum, basically. He doesn't want to work, doesn't want to go to school. All he wants to do is party, drink, and do drugs.
For hard-working Neil, it's behavior that won't be tolerated. He tries old-fashioned tough love to pull Christopher into line.
Neil would tell Christopher, take that dirt out of the basement and haul it out. And when he was done, he'd tell him, now haul all that dirt back into the basement.
No job, I have a point to it.
You pick that up, or you're out of this house.
Neil's methods of disciplining Patricia's children were pretty harsh and pretty unreasonable.
You got me something to jerk off.
I've had it with you, boy. You couldn't even look after your own kid.
Christopher is starting to really hate Neil. Everything about Neil just rubs Christopher the wrong way.
You disgust me. I want you out of the house.
Good, I don't want to live here anymore.
Patricia doesn't argue with her husband, but secretly keeps giving her son money.
Christopher was destitute. He had no job. He was living out of his car.
It's not the only secret Patricia's keeping. She's up to her neck in debt.
She had a video rental store, and then after that, a restaurant. And neither one of them did well.
Patricia starts to do things behind Neil's back. Not pay this bill, not pay that bill. Fudge on the taxes a little bit. Her restaurant business is sinking. She owes this vendor, she owes that vendor. She's ciphering money from Neil from his sign business. She's taking money from here and putting it in here.
Soon, there is no more money to shuffle around, and the bank threatens to take their home.
Neil has all these animals, this big land, only a matter of years away from paying off his mortgage, and yet she was able to, in just a matter of years, sink them.
Neil is unaware of any problem until he is pulled over in a random police check.
A state police trooper discovered that all of the vehicles that the family had, there were 5 or 6 of them, were not registered, they were not insured, they were not inspected.
I just got pulled over and fined because my truck is out of registration.
Yeah, I've fallen behind on some of the payments, but I've been really busy. I'll sort it out, okay?
After about 10 years of marriage, not only was Patricia in fairly serious financial trouble, Neil didn't know it.
I said I was really busy. I'll get on to it, all right?
Yeah, well, do it immediately.
He was about to find out, and she did not want that to happen.
With her debts mounting, Patricia can't hide the problem much longer.
The closer he gets to figuring out exactly what's happened to all their money, that's when she starts leaning towards, gee, maybe Neil needs to go.
Patricia burdens her woes on the person she can trust the most, her son.
She knew he had a resentment for Neil,
We had an argument. He's becoming unbearable.
so she lied to her son, and she said Neil was beating her.
Christopher believes his mother's allegations of abuse.
She's a very manipulative person, capable of strong emotion, but I think that it's one of somebody who's an actor.
Everything will be fine.
Christopher, he starts thinking, you know what? Maybe I should kill him for all he's done to us.
Christopher will soon prove how far a son will go for his mother's love. Patricia Olson's life is in turmoil. She is hiding huge debts from her husband, Neil, and spinning lies
Unbearable.
to get sympathy and help from her son, Christopher. She makes up one more outrageous story to fuel her son's anger.
You know what? You hit your daughter, you understand? Baby, understand? You hit your daughter.
Finally, she pulled the last pin and told Christopher that Neil, in fact, had hit his infant,
He hit your daughter. He hit your daughter. You
who
understand?
his estranged girlfriend had brought over to the house. And that was the last straw. We don't believe any of this was true.
January 9th, 2005. The family fighting will come to an end.
Neil is a guy of habit. She knows that he goes out to the barn every single night, 11 o'clock, to feed his horse, Hannah. And then he comes up to bed. It's the perfect opportunity.
A loyal son makes sure his family problems are a thing of the past.
And he just can't face him. He closes his eyes, and he just fires. Fires the weapon right in Neil's face.
Neil was lying there, his face and head a bloody mess. He had been shot 9 times in the head.
Christopher begins a bizarre plot to cover up his brutal crime.
But Christopher now has to make it look like the horse did it. Let's blame it on the horse. So he gets a pipe, and he just starts jamming it into Neil's head and body, making a bloody mess. It's not a really good theory. It doesn't take a forensic expert to put A and B together that this guy was killed.
The following morning, like she always does, Patricia brings breakfast to Neil in the barn.
She took the sandwich in the bag and the coffee. And she says that she saw Neil, became upset, went back inside, and made a frantic-sounding 911 call.
No, he's not responding. They think he's dead.
District Attorney David Capeless is one of the first on the scene. He's immediately suspicious of Patricia's story.
Tell me, what happened?
When I woke up in the morning, he wasn't there, so I figured he was feeding the horse. And then I came down and brought breakfast to him, and then I saw what happened.
And where the bag was found on the sidewalk, you couldn't see into the stable to even see him. We theorized that she dropped the bag in the coffee, went back inside, and called up. They mentioned the pipe. I said, wait a minute. This is something else. I said, call the medical examiner's office. We're gonna have an autopsy.
The autopsy reveals the truth. 9 bullets are found in Neil Olson's skull.
Chris seems to have not considered the fact that a medical examiner would be doing x-rays and find the bullet in Neil's head.
This is a homicide. This isn't a horseicide.
But police still don't know who is behind the brutal slaying of this loved local man until they hear that Christopher is mouthing off at a hotel.
He opens up immediately, and right away they know that he is definitely not the mastermind.
He made some mention about his mother and about his mother wanting him to do this. From that point on, the investigation not only was into Christopher, but also this potential link with his mother.
Incredibly, Patricia claims she never heard a single shot.
Patricia's story is she had this enormous headache and she couldn't sleep that well, so she took a couple of sleeping pills and that she was completely out. That's cruel and it's evil.
Patricia is lying. Her story doesn't match the evidence.
Discovered her cell phone, in fact, had been activated. She'd gotten phone calls, and even after 11:30, that the phone had been utilized by calling up and checking to see if there were any messages.
21-year-old Christopher Robinson pleads guilty to second-degree murder. He receives life, but is eligible for parole in 15 years.
That sentence tells me the judge took sympathy on Christopher.
He all of a sudden had all this remorse. He was being haunted by these visions. I believe that Christopher was pushed into doing something that he didn't want to do.
May 23rd, 2006. Patricia Olson is convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life behind bars with no parole.
Would she have done it herself? No. I don't think she had the gumption to do it, but she could push somebody else to do it.
She'll live out her days in the Massachusetts Correctional Institution, Framingham.
Patricia would be classified as an extreme narcissist. Everything's about her, and all the people in her lives are players. And it's a stage that she has created in order to get what she wants. My advice is don't marry Patricia Olson. You may end up dead.
A young girl lives on the streets with no constraints.
She was a very confused girl, but she was capable of knowing how to get what she wanted.
Okay, I want
You looking at you fat cow?
Every day is about survival.
You see the face of an innocent child, but that's just a mask.
The suburban wilds will unleash a beast.
While her friends are reading Harry Potter, playing hopscotch, she's out doing dope, drinking booze, and committing murder.
2006, the town of Ipswich in Suffolk, England. Des Thorpe is in the throes of a drinking binge.
Des had quite a severe drinking problem and was known to have that problem over a number of years.
There's always one person on hand to help him. 12-year-old Lorraine, his daughter.
Daddy, are you all right?
She very much doted on her father,
Come inside, I'll make you a cup of tea.
but her father obviously had an addiction, which she was having to live with herself and see as she grew up. It was a very difficult upbringing for her.
Young Lorraine tolerates her father's drinking, but her mother has had enough.
Lorraine, come and sit down here a minute. I need to tell you something.
The father-daughter bond is threatened
I'm moving now.
by divorce.
We're getting a divorce.
Why are you divorcing? I'll be good.
Lorraine, it's nothing to do with you.
Divorce hurts children. Under the best circumstances, it can be difficult. Under less than desirable circumstances, a divorce can be devastating for the child. And it was in Lorraine's case.
Well, what will happen to me?
Well, you will live with me, darling.
No, I want to live with Dad. Promise I can live with Dad.
In Lorraine's eyes, there is only one choice. She wants to stay with her dad.
At 12 years old, when Lorraine's parents split up, Lorraine was sent to live with her father, who was a severe alcoholic and needed care.
Des Thorpe was in a terrible state in terms of more or less incapable through alcohol. She did things that a daughter and a girl of her age should never have to do for their father. She did, in her own way, try and look after him.
Here you go, Dad. Eggs and beans. Get that too.
On the edge of society, Lorraine leads a nomadic life with her dad.
Quite a feral existence. Sofa surfing with her father, and she would just go from place to place to place, putting her head wherever she could.
Come on, you need to eat something.
She obviously learnt to live and survive in the best way that she could for herself.
To cope, she begins drinking herself.
Because the brain of an adolescent is still forming into their late teens, excessive use of alcohol can have very, very damaging effects on that developing brain.
Yeah, well, sod you!
By the age of 15, Lorraine holds her own in her father's circle of alcoholics.
You looking at you fat cow?
Lorraine ended up on the street with basically homeless street people that drank. That was what they did. And many of them were more than twice her age.
Despite her confidence, she's a little girl desperate for her father's attention, or someone just as good. She finds it in Paul Clark.
Clark was known to be quite a violent person. And for him, that did something for his own self-esteem, that he was at least top of the pile from his little group of people that he mixed with.
With her father a virtual invalid, Paul is everything Lorraine always wanted, and he gives her attention.
Lorraine Thorpe was drawn to him and became sort of part of his life. They formed some sort of bond, and quite often they were together.
Come on, come here.
The nature of their relationship we really don't know much about, but here you have a man who sees, all I have to do is groom this child, train this child to be my puppet.
He gets a chance when social services try to take Lorraine away from her alcoholic father. Paul offers her a home.
Where's the beer?
With him and girlfriend, 41-year-old Rosalind Hunt. Lorraine finally has a man that wants to take care of her, but is she willing to do what it takes to keep his attention?
Paul Clark was an aggressive, manipulative bully. If he wanted something, he took it. In Lorraine, Paul Clark had found his match.
In Suffolk, England, 2009, a volatile partnership is blooming. 41-year-old Paul Clark has charmed homeless teenager Lorraine Thorpe. They live off the meager benefits of Paul's girlfriend, fellow drunk Rosalind Hunt.
Rosalind Hunt was quite a fragile woman.
Give me some money.
She was known among the drinkers to be the sort of person that they could prey upon.
Just about have enough of you. It's the last time for you.
Sorry, Paul.
She had a flat of her own. She had benefits coming in.
To Lorraine, Paul is the father figure she's always wanted, unlike her incapacitated dad.
Des Thorpe was in a terrible state in terms of more or less incapable through alcohol. She did, in her own way, try and look after him and had some devotion to him.
But Lorraine's new hero, Paul, is a dangerous liaison. To be a part of his world, there is a price to pay. One night, his abuse takes a violent turn. His girlfriend, Rosalind, the recipient.
Paul Clark was a man who lived and thrived on violence, and I think he encouraged it and encouraged it in others.
Instead of being repulsed, Lorraine joins in.
Sometimes people in a group do things they would never do individually. I don't think that's really the case with Lorraine. I think Lorraine had it within her to be, well, I think she was a mean, aggressive sociopath.
For the first time in her short life, Lorraine feels in control.
Punch her again, I could have done so much more, you know? Yeah, she deserved it.
They bragged about it. Lorraine was proud of it. She told other people how much fun it was beating up on Rosalind.
So much blood.
You find it funny, did you? You find it funny? It was funny, wasn't it?
Together, the couple are strong in a world where only the tough survive.
The strong pick on the weak in that environment, and ultimately, Rosalind Hunt was too fragile for her own good.
Bruised and battered, Rosalind is a prisoner in her home. And there's more to come.
The use of a cheese grater on any skin surface would have caused extreme pain. The nerves run beneath the epidermis. So the fact that this area has multiple superficial scrapes and cuts is going to cause excessive bleeding. It's going to cause incredible pain.
The torture intensifies. They literally rub salt into her wounds.
researchers and academicians think sadists are created. As children, they're turned into sadists because of the way they're treated. And others say they're simply born that way.
The torture goes on for 2 days before Rosalind is finally dead.
A girl that was wrapped up in her own world that relatively few of us would recognise, and certainly not a world that most children live in. She would do whatever she needed to do to get what she wanted. Whether she realised the consequences of doing that is another matter.
Paul and Lorraine hide at her father's home.
Just take a look at him. He stinks. Do something about him.
All right, then I'll get him in the shower.
She looked after her father and cared for her father. They're not the actions of a cold-blooded killer. They're the actions of a little girl who is lost, who is trying to do the best she can for the person that she loves.
But Rosalind's murder is in the news, and Lorraine's father is immediately suspicious.
I heard that they found Rosie's body. It was you, wasn't it? You killed her.
Shut up, Dad!
Lorraine must choose freedom or her father's life.
You know it well. He's got to go too.
She chooses to sacrifice her dad.
At the end of the day, he was murdered by his own daughter, who had been a devoted daddy's girl.
They found an imprint of a shoe across his head, so that means that someone stomped him good on the face. And that had to be Lorraine. The game is over now. You've just created a monster.
Having committed 2 murders, the couple flee, but don't get far. Security cameras capture them leaving the house.
Lorraine and Paul Clark were seen leaving the flat, and they were arrested only a few hours later.
In September 2010, Paul Clark is convicted of double murder and is given a life sentence with a minimum term of 27 years. On the same day, 16-year-old Lorraine Thorpe becomes Britain's youngest convicted female double murderer. She is serving a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 14 years.
Lorraine Thorpe, you've got to remember, was a very damaged child. She came from having very little to trying to look after her 43-year-old father at an age when the biggest problem most teenagers will have of her age would be losing their mobile phone. She will become synonymous with the murder of her father and the murder of a vulnerable woman. Whether people see beyond that, who knows?
A woman wanting revenge.
She was very bitter against her father.
Can be dangerous.
If somebody else had to die, that didn't bother her.
And the consequences, unimaginable.
No one questioned how ridiculous this plan was.
In every town, there are people living on the edge. In 2003, Erie, Pennsylvania, Marjorie Deal Armstrong is one of them. Unable to hold down a job, she's desperate for cash.
I have nothing. Nothing.
Well, if you got nothing, what are you complaining about?
At 51, Marjorie appeals to her father to bail her out yet again. It's a far cry from her early days.
She was a valedictorian of her high school class, was considered to be an intelligent person.
Classmates described her as extremely intelligent, that she had an almost encyclopedic grasp of history, literature, and the law.
You don't care a damn about me, Dad. Not a...
But in middle age, Marjorie has nothing. So when her mother dies, and leaves an inheritance of $500,000, Marjorie thinks it should be hers.
Her father gave her $50,000 and essentially told her he was planning on spending the rest.
I'm sorry. I can't afford to give you more than
This did not make her happy.
Marjorie believes her father is stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from her.
You'll regret this.
Her anger is compounded by mental illness.
The bipolar disorder that she suffered from seemingly caused lots of problems in how she behaved and dealt with things. And again, it's one of the sad side effects of mental illness.
Bipolar disorder is a very serious psychiatric condition characterized by wide mood swings, from being extremely depressed to what is known as a mania, a kind of wonderful euphoric high.
Marjorie wants revenge against her father and her hands on her inheritance at any cost.
Her plan was to hire a hitman to assassinate her father, and then she would be rich.
So, will you do it, Ken?
Yeah, I'll do it.
She asks fishing buddy Ken Barnes to do her dirty work.
But I'm gonna need 125 grand up front.
But murder comes at a price.
Okay, but I can't pay you until I get the inheritance.
No way. It's money up front or it's no deal.
How can an impoverished woman come up with that much cash? By coming up with another madcap scheme.
She simply was not using common sense. Decided, oh, well, okay, we'll get $125,000. We'll just rob a bank.
Marjorie recruits another accomplice, her former lover and science teacher, Bill Rothstein.
The box fits on the collar. The collar goes on the neck, obviously.
He was really intelligent in terms of how to build complicated and complex devices. That was something that he did for students in class.
If we use a collar bomb, then they'll have to let him leave the bank.
Their heist calls for a human bomb.
They wouldn't dare shoot him or try and touch him.
They'll have to know that we can blow it up if they approach him.
Do you think he'll do it, Ken?
And Marjorie knows just the right patsy to wear it.
Speak of the devil.
Oh, Brian!
Hey, guys.
You're gonna help us rob a bank.
What?
But first, I need to measure your neck.
You're joking, right?
Brian Wells basically lived by himself. He had cats in a small, very unassuming house, and he had worked as this pizza delivery man.
What are you talking about?
Brian is told the bomb will be a fake, but trusting Marjorie is dangerous.
Marjorie's bipolar mania was absolutely out of control. It was controlling her life. No one was safe.
Marjorie Deal Armstrong is holding a deluded grudge against her father. She's prepared to go to extremes to get revenge.
This motley crew of characters decided to hatch this plot to rob a local bank and get that money and then use it to pay for the hit on Marjorie Deal's father.
It's a great plan. We'll all be rich, James. First, we get the bank.
Marjorie shares her secret with her boyfriend, James Roden.
You must be crazy. Please tell me you're joking. You can't go through with this.
But she gets a negative response.
Don't do it, or I'll...
You'll what, James? You won't tell anyone, will you?
And that's bad news for James.
Of course not. Will you? No!
Marjorie was the type of woman people didn't say no to.
She She convinces Bill Rothstein, her collaborator, to help cover up the murder.
Rothstein not only disposed the body in his freezer, but I understand he also had cleaned up the room where the murder had taken place.
Marjorie gives him another gruesome task.
Promise you'll grind him up later, though, won't you? Sure.
With a lot of these people involved with this conspiracy, were easily manipulated to do things that possibly they wouldn't actually want to do. And that was one of the things with Brian Wells.
Marjorie's crazy plan calls for a bank robbery to raise the money to pay for the hitman to kill her father.
Next, please.
The PNC Bank will be held up by a man, not with a gun, but wearing a fake collar bomb. But on the day of the robbery, Brian Wells finds out the bomb is real.
Those explosives look real.
They are. It's just to make sure you and everyone in the bank behaves.
Frank. Hey, keep still, Brian. Too much movement and that bomb will go off.
Marjorie's manipulation knows no limits. Everyone in her gang is under her control. Brian's life is in her hands.
We believe he was part of the conspiracy up until the time he realized that they're going to put a live bomb on him.
Next, please.
The plan is simple. Brian hands over a note threatening to blow up everyone unless they empty the vault.
There's no way that I can get to the vault right now, sir.
But from the start, things don't go according to plan. The teller can't open the vault, and Brian only gets money from the till.
This is all I can get you, sir.
It was not a good plan. She gave him $8,100, which is all she had. Brian Wells said, okay, and walked out of the bank.
Brian's day is about to go from bad to worse.
As this bank was being robbed by Brian Wells, law enforcement was across the street eating.
Be careful! This thing is gonna go off! This thing around my neck is gonna go off! You hear it ticking?
We heard on the scanner this report of state police had stopped somebody who had just robbed a bank, and he had a bomb. And that's when we kind of realized, I don't think this is a fake bomb. Something big is going on. This is something that's beyond the ordinary.
Police soon realize the bomb is a threat to everyone. They isolate Brian and call the bomb squad.
Why is it nobody's trying to get this thing off me? I don't have a lot of time.
The state police, there's really not much they could have done. They weren't bomb technicians. They didn't have bomb suits. They don't know what device this is, how it's going to go off, whether it's triggered by a remote. So really, there's not a lot they could do. Just sit and wait for the bomb squad to arrive.
Witnessing the whole debacle are Marjorie and her accomplice, Bill. They have no control, and neither does anyone else.
Come and help me!
The bomb squad will be too late.
Do you hear me? It's ticking!
When all of a sudden, bang.
I'm not lying!
You could hear the tinkling of shrapnel hitting the ground a few feet from where we were standing. The FBI said that they have never seen anything like before or since.
Brian Wells decided to help with the bank robbery. He knew exactly what he was getting into. He did not, however, intend to die.
Brian Wells and her boyfriend, James, are dead. And still, Marjorie hasn't got enough money to hire her hitman.
Marjorie didn't mind having collateral damage, that if in her plot to get money to kill her father, that if somebody else had to die, that didn't bother her.
Nobody suspects Marjorie of any crime until Bill Rothstein snaps.
I can't do it.
He has promised to grind up Marjorie's boyfriend, but he would rather give himself up.
Police, I need to talk to somebody. I need to report a body.
January 2005. Marjorie is initially convicted of her boyfriend's murder. It takes another 5 years to prove her involvement in the Collar Bomb Bank robbery. She is sentenced to life.
Had Marjorie sought out psychiatric treatment, it's entirely possible she never would have killed anyone and might have actually had a happy life.
Bill Rothstein dies from cancer before he is sentenced. Ken Barnes pleads guilty and is sentenced to 45 years.
It's amazing what people will do to get what they want.
To this day, Marjorie claims her bipolar condition makes her not responsible.
The vast majority of people with bipolar disorder, whether treated or not, never, ever would kill another person and never do kill anyone. That isn't what happened here.